Hi, welcome back to Mountain Jim Card Collectibles. So I did a video yesterday and I talked about Rockstar Flipper, basically saying he's quitting, reselling and doing reselling content. And what I took away from that is basically monetized YouTube channels only care about their monetization, all right? They can sell you this, they can sell you that. Oh, become a reseller, reselling so great on eBay, but honestly, they're not making much money from it. They're making most of their dollars from YouTube, okay? And, it's not just him, though, all right? When you look at sports card gurus, boy, I mean, they're just as guilty for the most part, always selling their audience a bunch of bullshit, day in and day out. And, when I think about that, the first person that, really comes to mind, would be, sports card investor. Big millionaire, making bank off of YouTube, he's got his Cards HQ, he's involved with Fanatics Collect and breaking and, And so that's the big YouTube role model, And I'm just not impressed at all. I'm really not, because what I get from, Sports Card Investor, what I get from other big channels on YouTube, and YouTube is just as guilty for doing it, for just, throwing a bunch of shit at us, is the fact they're all gaslighting us, And I have watched a lot of breakers, and there are still breakers I watch. I kind of pulled back on watching striker breaks just for the fact I felt like some of his videos were more or less kind of gaslighting the audience on the quality of the Topps product, And hey, he's a monetized channel too, So the reality is if you're taking, a lot of pointers, a lot of information from these monetized channels, I just feel like it's the Gaslight Express, all right? Especially when it comes to 2026 Topps Series 1 baseball, all right? And it gets exhausting. So I noticed this today. And the thing about Series 1 is whenever you watch a YouTube guru, big sports card guru on YouTube, it's the best card set ever for the most part. Oh, it's, if you buy this one, it's going to be doing better than this one. But honestly, what I've seen getting pulled out of a lot of these Series 1 packs, boxes, whatever, is just a lot of no-name cards. A lot of the type of cards I would usually pull out of a box, when I watch the breaks. And I know that, these big sports card gurus hype up, the cards they're pulling out, but you can't deny I'm looking at, like no-name autos, parallels that aren't numbered, with no-name players, To me, it just feels, like I said before, an endless stream of gaslighting. And I've noticed a lot of people have been, just talking about their Series 1 experiences, on X. So to start us off, let's hop on the old Gaslight Express with Sports Card Investor. This just popped off 48 minutes ago. And he has to hype this up so that, we all feel like we're part of the hobby, even though most of us have been pushed out of the hobby, in favor of millionaires, gurus, breaking companies, gamblers, So let's see what he says here. Retail magic is real. This collector grabbed 3 fat packs and a blaster at Walmart and waited 45 minutes to check out. Then they pulled a Derek Jeter out of 25 auto from 2026 Topps Series 1. That's the kind of hit that makes the wait disappear instantly. Okay. Why do you think Sports Card Investor is talking this way? Think about that. Because he has to gaslight you so that you pretend you're part of the hobby. I mean, most of us, we're no longer part of the hobby. I sit and talk about the hobby. I'm still selling some cards on eBay. I'm still ripping a few packs here and there, whatever. But let's face it, if you're not a breaking company, you're not part of the hobby at this point in time. If you're not a breaker that's monetized on YouTube, or you don't have a monetized channel on YouTube for cash, good luck being part of this hobby. So let's see what people are saying. I'm not sure that card is worth spending 45 consecutive minutes in Walmart. When retail hits, it's a beauty. Yeah. And maybe this actually happened, but man, this is rare. This is really rare, especially with what I've seen people ripping on YouTube, what I've seen people talking about on X, okay? All right, so here's another post, and this is from February 11th, just a few days ago. At Card Purchaser, has to be the worst Series 1 hobby. 2 foil, 1 numbered, not even a player card, and the low-end auto. Is this typical? Also, most player cards were extremely off-centered. Second pick, okay. Let's take a look at this. Yep, there it is. No name auto. Now, a lot of these big YouTube gurus, and I won't say who, I've even caught hyping up these no name autos. There you go. That's basically $1 auto at my LCS, all right? We're looking at these other cards here. I'm not impressed. And I know that people that have monetized YouTube channels, boy, they're just saying this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, it's not. You can see these cards. I would see gurus on YouTube hyping up cards like this in the bottom right corner. Because it's a foil card or something. Big deal. It's not worth anything. All right. And yeah, I mean, this really is way off centered. I mean, and here's another one. At Tops, at Michael Rubin, at Fanatics, and this is from February 11th. I opened 2 hobby boxes, and this is all I get with 2 hobby boxes. 1 card, no other hits, numbered cards, SSP, SP, 1 card. This is the 7th pre-order that I get with no major cards. I'm opening trash. Why do I even do this? Why? Well, I've learned years and years ago to stay away from Series 1 because it's the most overprinted set of the entire year for the most part. I mean, Fanatics may change that, but for the most part, that's the way Series 1 has always been. It's just way overprinted. And so when I see, these big YouTube gurus, sports card gurus hyping this stuff up, I'm just not buying it. So let's take a look at this card. This is his best card here. I mean, that's pretty sad, napkin patch, I mean, Jacob Mizorowski, I mean, these people aren't buying the hype. They're not huffing up the gaslighting, These people are living it, just like I've lived it too. And I just get so exhausted with people just worshiping these big YouTube guru channels that just do nothing but gaslight you all day. And then you might go, well, it's entertainment. Well, it's this and that, but it is what it is, Okay, here's another one. And this came from just 19 minutes ago. Disgruntled Marlins fan. He should put disgruntled Tops fan. Anyway. Went against my better judgment and bought a hanger box of 2026 Top Series 1 this morning. Nothing but junk. Yup. How about Series junk? There you go. I like that. Top Series junk 2026. Gaslighted by your douchey, YouTube sports card gurus from morning to night. When you get down into the weeds, it's a much different story. Okay, this just came from 2 hours ago. This is kind of like, Yelling at clouds here. At Tops, at Fanatics, do better. Your quality control, especially with Series 1 baseball, is atrocious. Bent corners on every card. For the price points you charge, you'd expect better product quality. Yes. Thank you for saying that, I mean, are these cards any different than what you're getting in the junk wax era? No, they're not. They're really not. But yet Topps Fanatics and all your big gurus are just gaslighting the shit out of you. Oh, but it's 2026. It could be 1991. What's the difference? All right, here's another one. This is a bad look here. This came from February 11th. Not a good start at Topps. Opening my first jumbo box and my relic was Roman Anthony with nothing in the relic space. No bat, no cloth, nothing. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Let's take a look at this card here. Yeah. Good job, Good job, Michael Rubin. Good job, big monetized YouTube sports card channels. Hyping up the bullshit. Like it says here, oof. Quality control seems to be non-existent at this point. Yet they want us to keep paying up for boxes. And I will say this and keep watching those YouTube channels. Yep. Okay, here's another one. This comes from February 9th. This has to be the worst rip in a while. Not even fun limited inserts. Lots of rookies and the actual pictures are of cool in-game events, but all base junk, though I have no clue what I'm actually looking for. Well, it's Series 1, okay? First off, you never buy Series 1. Now, if these YouTube gurus would be honest, they would tell you that. But they're not telling you that for a lot of reasons, so you keep watching their channel. Oh, keep watching us rip into Series 1. It's fun to watch. It's great entertainment. But when you do it, it really hurts the wallet now, doesn't it? Okay, so here's some hits that people have been, getting out of their Series 1. So here's looks like a Colson Montgomery rookie card with a napkin patch. Okay, so that's his best hit. I don't see much value there, This person, kind of showing their best hits, the kind of a Cal Raleigh card, but that couldn't be his rookie. I got numerous Cal Raleigh rookies. Someone buy them, please. I'm kind of looking at this one and this one, just really nothing special, Colson Montgomery may be the best card I've seen for a while, but still, it's just a napkin patch. I've never been, too happy with those. Now this is a interesting take, and there's a lot of gaslighting in this hobby. Even from MLB itself, they're the ones who help create this, monopoly that, us collectors have to deal with, with all the gambling and all the gaslighting and all the grifting, to say the least. So they're really part of the problem. I just don't respect the sports leagues like I used to as a collector. I just don't, because I see how they look at us, just like, we're just something to use and abuse, so that they can go live their beautiful lifestyles. But right here, MLB, it's at Top Series 1 release day. Repost and reply for your chance to win a 75th anniversary hobby box. Join us at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TikTok for a live box break with trivia and prizes. No thank you. No thanks. I'll pass on that. You guys are the problem here, MLB. You're just not helping matters, You're just making life worse for us, like 1,000,000 times worse, with all your gaslighting and bullshit. And that's the way I feel. So here's someone that feels like they did pretty good. So let's take a look, Well, got some 2026 Top Series 1 jumbo case breaks. Not a bad start. Dodgers are a great buy, between $220 to $269. That's hilarious. $220 to $269, man. I mean, that's why most of us can't do this stuff. I mean, that's just a lot of money to gamble away on getting into a break. All right. So let's see what he got that he's proud of. Alex Freeland auto. I've never heard of that person. Let's be honest here. Maybe, I'm way off track here, maybe he'll go somewhere, but let's see what this one is. Roki Sasaki, Future Stars. Seriously? Man, that's just not very good. I couldn't imagine spending 220 to 269 for that, That's pretty sad. I just that's what gaslighting does to you, kids. It's kind of like the old and I grew up with this commercial. I don't know if you grew up with this commercial as well, but the old, don't do drugs, kids. This is your brand. We're showing the egg, in the shell, and then this is your brand on drugs. We crack it and it goes into the frying pan. This is your brand on brakes and gaslighting. Frying away. We did good. All right, so here we go. This is a big one here. This came from 9 hours ago. This may be the biggest hit, of Series 1 that we've seen in a while. Need someone more educated in Top Series 1 than I. How big of a nuke is this? I'm seeing so many different valuations. Okay, let's see what you got going on here. Base card, 1952 autograph, variation base parallel of C.J. Cephas of the Cleveland Guardians. All right, well, hopefully the Cleveland Guardians will do something for once. Huh? You never know. This might be their year, but let's face it. I can pretty much guess that most people may not hear much about this player, unfortunately. So we can hype it up. Huffing the gaslighting. Here you go. This came out of a 2026 Top Series 1 Jumbo Box, okay? Christian Moore, Heavy Lumber. Rookie card, huh? But the issue I have with Series 1 overall, it's the big YouTube gurus, It's the big sports card channels. Gaslighting, hyping, and just pretending things are different than they really are with these cards, If they want to be honest with their viewers, they have to admit that this really is not a very good set to put a lot of money into. I mean, face it, it just really isn't. And I know that there's a lot of individuals out there who want you to believe in these cards and believe in the set. And hey, if you've managed to find a good card, you're really lucky, but, I went through a lot of stuff today, and most people are getting burnt, and that's always the nature of Series 1, is they just should call it Series Junk, Series Burn, Series Screw the Consumer. Let's pretend this is meant for, the overall consumer, when all of our best stuff is going to our in-house Fanatics Collect breaking companies so that Topps Fanatics can make more money off the secondary market. Yeah. That's what Series 1 really is. It's a joke. And so you can have these big millionaires like, Sports Card Investor, pretending to be on our level, but he's not on our level, and he never will be. So anyway, how do you feel about all this? Leave some comments, maybe hit the thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. If you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Remember, I'm a non-monetized channel. So anyway, I'd like to thank my viewers as well. Thank you for watching. If you could just touch that subscription button, that would really help me out. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.